The addition of new technology to Major League Baseball has been a much debated topic over the last decade or so. Some people feel like it could be good for the game because it'll advance the game and allow everyone to gain more insight, and it allows for more fairly officiated games. And then on the other hand, people want the game to stay traditional and keep new technology away from the game because it would take away the human element of mistakes. I believe that adding new technology to the game of baseball is not only good for the game, but it will advance the game and enhance the fan and player experience by increasing pace of play. And it will also allow for challenges on nearly every play, gathering more data on analytics to the game and making the game more futuristic. Today we will talk all about all of these things. The issues surrounding new technology being added into the MLB has been heavily debated for quite some time. So people believe that it should be added to the MLB because it will take away the mistakes that are made by the umpires and it allows for challenges on nearly every play, and games won't be swayed as much by umpires anymore. But on the other hand, like I said, people don't want new technology to be added because they argue that the umpires making mistakes is just part of the game. And like I said, there have been people that kind of argue about this back and forth about whether it should be added or not, but in my opinion, it would be a great addition to the game of baseball. Now let's talk about some of the new technology that has been added to the game or is being debated about being added into the game. Firstly, the automated ball strike system, and this would be a piece of technology that would allow for players to challenge nearly every single pitch of the game for whether it was a ball or a strike. Another piece is the pitch clock, and this regulates the pace of play of the game. And this has already been added to the MLB, and it's had some pretty positive feedback thus far. The challenge system is another piece of technology that has been implemented, and this allows for challenges on nearly every single play. And it allows for plays to be overturned, and it kind of takes away the mistake element from the umpires. AI-driven game strategies have also been added, and this includes things such as defensive shift recommendations, pinch hitter recommendations, and predicting the outcome of certain batters facing certain pitchers. And this helps the coaches and players because it helps predict matchups and what helps them give themselves the best chance to win. This also affects the data and analytical side of baseball too, because by adding all these advancements, the technology side of things kind of grows, and it helps collect data and it helps find new metrics that can be tracked. And some of these metrics that have been tracked include hitters' heat zones, which show where the players hit the ball the hardest and the weakest. And then the other one is the pitcher heat zones, which show how often they throw each pitch to each location. The streaming side and TV side of the MLB can also be affected, and this would allow, so they want to implement a virtual reality fan experience, and this would allow for fans to watch the game from the comfort of their couch. On the TV side of things, they are talking about adding a 360-degree angle camera and enhanced replays, which would enhance the fan experience from watching at home. And these are the main technological advancements that have helped kind of grow the game and grow debates about what should be added. And now we'll dive deeper into it and kind of talk about it. First, let's dive into the automated ball strike system. Mark Sanchez of the New York Post says that the ABS is a piece of new technology that the MLB has been experimenting with for a couple of years, and it gives players the ability to challenge the umpire's call of a ball or strike on every single pitch of the game. I believe that this would be a good addition to the MLB because it would ensure that players have the chance to correct calls that may be wrong. And many games have been affected by bad calls by umpires on the field, and this new technology would take away that risk and allow for more fair gameplay. On the other hand, people oppose this idea because it would take away the human element of umpiring, and it would essentially make umpires have no power in the game. I believe this is better for the game because the umpire's job is to officiate the game as fairly as possible, but mistakes are inevitable, and this new system would allow for their mistakes to be challenged and corrected. The next piece of technology that we will be talking about is the pitch clock. And the pitch clock has already been added to the MLB, and this was implemented a few years ago. Jesse Rogers of ESPN says the pitch clock was implemented as a piece of technology that was meant to regulate the pace of play and speed up the game slightly. The pitch clock resets after every pitch, and the pitcher either has 20 seconds or 18 seconds to deliver the next pitch, depending on if runners are on base or not. Again, Jesse Rogers says, "This piece of technology has been extremely successful thus far, as it has decreased the average time of MLB games by nearly 25 minutes since it was implemented." And many people prefer the non-regulated pace of play that the MLB used to have because there was no sense of urgency or rush for the players throughout the game. But I believe that this has been good for the game because it keeps fans engaged at all times and there's less downtime between pitches. And it also keeps the players and coaches more engaged due to the decrease in downtime between plays. The other thing that has benefited from the addition of the pitch clock is the broadcast and streaming services, and it allows for commercial time to be more structured and regulated, which leads to a much better experience while watching on television. The next piece of technology that I'll talk about that has been implemented into the MLB in recent years is the traditional challenge system. And the challenge system is much like any challenge system in other sports, and it allows for the players and coaches to challenge actual plays on the field that happen and allows for them to be overturned. And I believe that this was a good addition for the game because it increases the fairness and integrity of the game by eliminating bad calls due to human error. It also ensures that games are less likely to be swayed by a single bad call, which is something that fans have complained about for quite some time. And Hannah Kaiser of The Guardian says, much like the other technological additions, fans had mixed reactions to this because people believe that the game should have stayed traditional and not allowed challenges due to the fact that human error is bound to happen. And my rebuttal to this is that games for years have been swayed by single calls that have been made that single-handedly flip the game upside down and give benefits to a certain team. And I believe that this is a great thing that has been added to the game because it completely eliminates that and it allows for mistakes to be overturned. Nextly, we will talk about AI-driven game strategies that have been implemented into the MLB. This is essentially a predictive AI system that will tell coaches and players what the most likely outcome will be for each batter or pitcher. And according to E.D. Gibson of The Medium, some of its features include defensive shift recommendations, pinch hitter recommendations, and predicting the outcome of certain batters facing certain pitchers. This technology can be very good for the MLB because it helps players and coaches strategize the game and it helps give them the best chance at being successful. Many people will disagree with this technology because they will feel as if it is cheating in a sense because it includes no human elements, just strictly artificial intelligence predicting the outcomes of certain scenarios and giving recommendations to players and coaches. I say that this is an understandable stance, but the opposite can also be said because the game and world are evolving and AI has become very popular and a useful tool, which would make sense for it to be utilized in sports as well. And in addition to that, all of this new technology that is being added to the game also affects the data and analytical side of baseball too. By adding all of this technology, it allows for more data to be collected, which is very useful for the players and coaches while creating scouting reports and game plans. Some of the new metrics that can be tracked include hitters' heat zones, which show where the players hit the ball the hardest and weakest, and another feature is pitchers' heat zones, which shows how often they throw each pitch and how frequently they throw it in certain locations. Not only is this good for the players and coaches, but this data is also available to the fans that are curious to see the information. It highly increases the fan experience because it makes the fans feel like they are getting inside info on the players and their tendencies, which makes for a more engaging experience as a fan. Another piece of new technology that could potentially be added to the MLB and its streaming services in the future is virtual reality fan experience. This would allow for fans to watch the game from the comfort of their couch, but still experience it just like they were at the game. The headset would allow for fans to have front row seats for the game and have all the same sights and sounds as they would at the game, all from their own home. I believe that this would be good for the MLB and its publicity because it would intrigue fans to try it out due to how futuristic it seems. This is also a good way that the MLB can market its games because they will now be able to sell tickets to watch the game in virtual reality and in real life, which means more money made for the MLB. Another new piece of technology that has been implemented on the TV side of things is the 360-degree angle cameras. These cameras show different angles and enhanced replays. These things all contribute to a better fan experience while watching the game on TV because it gives the fans a better look at what is happening during the game. These new cameras are also helpful for the players and coaches when they go back to watch film and video because it gives them access to see plays from pretty much any angle that they want to. This is very good for the MLB because it will increase viewership of games on TV and enhance the overall fan experience. All of these technological advancements have also helped grow the game globally. Between the media coverage, international games, and TV deals, it has all helped increase the amount of fans across the globe for the MLB. This allows for more people to be involved across the globe, which is the main goal of the game in the first place. There really is no downsides to this implementation. The MLB has also recently allowed players to start using wearable technology, and according to 247 Sports, it is used to track many different things such as heart rate, fatigue, and recovery throughout the games and practices. This technology will be very beneficial to the players and training staff because it will allow them to see what they are doing right and wrong and then make adjustments to decrease injury risk and improve overall health of the players. This will also lead to a better player development and health management because it will allow for players to make adjustments sooner, and it will help them maximize their potential and become the best and healthiest that they possibly can be. And then on the other side of things, the MLB has also recently allowed teams and players to start using technology such as PitchCom and other wearable technology that shows them what to do and tells them what to do. So for pitchers and catchers, they traditionally give signs using their fingers for what pitch they want to throw, but now you can use a piece of technology which can be seen on the left in this picture, which sends a signal into the pitcher's hat and a voice tells them what pitch to throw. And this eliminates the possibility of players stealing signs. And people will say that that is part of the game and that it's been going on for years and years, but I believe that it is best if the game is played fairly, and this eliminates the possibility of sign stealing. The final thing that I will be talking about is how the MLB is also working on creating smart stadiums. And according to Ivan Farkas of the MLB, it will give fans access to real-time game statistics, personalized services, and interactive experiences. This will allow for a much smoother experience during the game for the fans, but it will also likely take some human jobs throughout the process of implementing these features. The MLB is looking into doing a more hands-off approach and lean more towards artificial intelligence and technological advancements to help improve the overall fan experience on game day. All in all, many people throughout the world both agree and disagree with the implementation of new technology in the MLB. It is impossible to make everyone happy, but I think that everyone can take positives out of it either way. The people who are against adding new technology into the MLB most likely want the game to stay traditional in the sense that there will be mistakes and human errors involved. This is understandable, but the addition of all this technology will make the playing field more even, and it will eliminate the possibility of human error while being the deciding factor in games. The addition of new technology is and will be good for the game of baseball because it increases the pace of play, allows for challenges, increases fairness, and positively impacts players' health and safety. It also strengthens the fan experience from both at home and at the stadium. The MLB should decide to add all these different things into the game because it will all create their own positive impact on the game of baseball. These new pieces of technology will also help evolve the game of baseball and continue to make the game more futuristic. This is good because change can be a good thing, and in this case it will be, because there are not many downsides to improving the game of baseball by implementing new technology into it. Thank you.